The Gauteng Education Department has commenced with placements of learners on Friday, and parents whose children will be attending grades 1 to 8 in Gauteng next year will be receiving placement offers via SMS. The Gauteng Education Department received over 5,000 applications when the registration period opened back in April and May this year. And parents who applied are urged to respond immediately by either accepting or rejecting the placement offer within 7 working days. Mr. Steve Mabona, the department spokesperson, says that failure to respond to the placement offer will result in the forfeiture of that offer. It will then be given to the next applicant on that waiting list. Mabona says the department is well aware of the pending status of the system, and parents have been urged to be very patient. Well, Mr. Steve Mabona, the spokesperson for the Gauteng Education Department, is in studio with us to unpack all these details for us. Steve, I understand we literally raided you while you were on another course, but good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So you say you are aware of the challenges, the current challenges in the system, but what can you tell us in terms of how accurate and effective it is at this stage?
Look, we are very much happy about the response that we receive from parents, and hence we are saying we actually sent SMSs on Friday, saying to them they need to go into the system, log on there, and they accept or decline the offers that they've been given. But we've realized that there's most of them, their status is pending, and say pending the district approval or facilitation thereof. But we are aware that most of the schools were not ready on Friday. As you will know, we started at around 8 o'clock. So most of the schools... And they
still have 7 working days, correct, Steve?
Look, once the SMS, once the offer is there in the system for you, you have 7 days, to accept or decline. But once you've received an SMS, only to find that when you go into the system, your offer is not ready, it still says it's pending. So you don't need to panic, don't count days. The school is still finalizing the approval process. Because remember, the schools must approve, as per our policy, and as the district will be then facilitating placement of all those parents that might have not been placed by the schools.
And if you decline as a parent, Steve, then what are your options?
Look, remember, we encourage parents to apply in 5 schools. So probably you will get 4 or even 5 offers. So at least you have 1 offer to choose from.
Some options,
because then we are saying to parents, because some parents will receive 2 offers and say, but I applied to 5, I only received 2, and my first choice I did not receive.
Yes.
It means the school could not, accept you because of maybe capacity, or you don't conform to regulations. So it's important that the offers that you have, please accept one of those, so that we can then move you out of the system, out of the waiting list, so that other parents can be considered. Because remember, when the school offers you a space, they don't know that you've applied in other schools. They don't have access of the other schools. So that's why a parent will receive probably 3 to 4 offers. So take one, so that you move out of the queue or the waiting list of the other schools, so that we can place those parents that are next in line.
All right, and then Steve, what reasons could then learners be declined by a specific school that their parents wants them to go to? And how would then the parents have to deal with that impasse? They'd have to look for another school.
Hence, we have encouraged parents to apply to more than one.
More than one,
Because there are other parents that I was engaging with yesterday said, no, I applied only one school, and if I don't have that one, I don't have.
That was the preferred school for them.
And it's bad, because, for instance, if a school has a capacity of about 300, and then they receive 1,500 applications, so surely 1,200 parents, we're going to have to say to them, sorry, we have the next option, which we can give you, another offer. Hence, we've been encouraging parents to apply utilizing the home or work address. So you know that if your child is not next to home, you can take, her or him next to work. So probably there will be a school that you are interested in either next to home or next to work.
And then, Steve, does this also apply to private schools, or is it just public schools at this stage? And are you planning to, in the near future, this is just for grades 1 to 8, are you also planning to cover the whole school system where you cover up until matric this way in terms of placement?
No, actually it's grade 1 and 8.
Okay, grade 1 and 8.
So your inner grades, we don't, because they are already in the school. If you are in primary, you are doing grade 2. Already.
But what if you want to leave that primary school and then you need to go look for another primary school? Then you'll have to be, you'd have to go for this placement system again.
No. You'll have to go to a school and apply there. Then they will be, you'll be considered. So, but then you know that when we started the process, we said we are exploring, avenues of us, going into the inner grades, because gone are the days where you'll just go into a school. They tell you that we are full, or, up until 2020, we don't have space, only to find that there's some alienation or discrimination. They look at you, probably you don't qualify. When they look at you, they class you and things like those, and the color, race. Hence, we are.
And this is what I want to talk about, Steve. Sorry to get in there. I mean, I think when we spoke about this at the beginning of the drive, are you still pushing this drive of promoting all government schools in South Africa so that children can say any school is good enough for me? Isn't that what this project particularly seeks to do?
MEC will normally tell you that we are in charge of education in Gauteng, not only in our public ordinary school, also in the private sector.
Yeah.
When there are things that we don't see that they are progressive towards the education system, we go in there and intervene. So in all our public ordinary schools, we still say, one of the days where language, race, ethnicity, gender
was a factor,
is going to be utilized against you, or as a determinator, to accept you in a school. When you live next to a school that you can walk or throw a stone that will land in that school, why can't you access that school? That's what we are saying. And we are saying, but people will be saying we are against Africans, if I were to make an example. We are not. We are saying there's nowhere in this country where one language is spoken in a residential area.
Yeah.
So what is the justification that you will have one language in a certain school and you can't access the school? Parents need to go far-flung, leave the school that is next door, you go to access a school that is far because of language. So one of the days that we're going to be segregated.
But have those issues been looked into, Steve, particularly with the system? Because I'm sure you can't just tell by looking at a certain surname that this person speaks this particular language.
Yeah, but you'll understand that when the school says you must give us the language of preference, you give them English, then they find a way of saying no, but that this is an Afrikaans school. Already there's a challenge. And what we've been saying to parents, that we encourage them to say, apply in all the schools that you feel that you want to access, apply. Because what for us, it was to create the data, make sure that numbers are justifying that we must go into that school and say, look, numbers are dictating that we need to interact now, we need to engage.
And there's schools that are sitting empty, Steve, that don't have an influx of pupils that could be going in there. And look, I know we're out of time. Just one more thing. I know my director is going to kill me. Where else can now parents or guardians of these learners then contact you directly to have an understanding, or if they have any issues pertaining to the placement system?
Look, we know that most of the parents, their status is pending. They need to call, those that want to interact with us, they can call the call center, 0800 000 789, 0800 000 789. And those that might have forgotten their log-on details, because we've experienced much of those. On Friday, we received over 8,000 calls by 12 o'clock. By end of business, we were sitting at around 12,000 calls that we've received at our call center, and it was so busy. So we actually appeal for patience when they call us, because we are busy, giving them the log-on details that they have forgotten majority of them, which is unfortunate.
Steve, thank you so much for coming in studio. I know you are quite hectic this afternoon. We're going to release you. Thank you so much for the information. That number that you can contact if you have any issues pertaining to the placement systems of grade 1s and 8s in the Gauteng schools, it is 0800 000 789. That is Mr. Steve Mabona, the Gauteng Education Department spokesperson, in studio here with us.